And I'm going to unmute. There we go. Hi, everyone. All right. So this is called, this is a new segment I'm doing, and it's called like, Who's That Brand? And it's like, who's that brand? Da, 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 da. Okay, that's a song. That's originally from Who's That Girl? Anyway, I was going to inaugurate this series with another brand, but I thought that this was so relevant. What I wanted to do was highlight brands that are doing it right. Well, in this case, today, I'm going to highlight brands not doing it right. And I'm going to start with Adventures with Purpose, which is interesting. Okay, and if you don't know me, my name is Alexandra Figueiredo. I'm a branding and visibility strategist, former publicist. And so today I'm going to talk about the Adventures with Purpose publicity fiasco and their brand and how they're going to be able to recuperate. What is going to happen with that? Okay, from my expertise. Okay, so interestingly, Adventures with Purpose, if I would have started with them a week ago, this would have been a completely different conversation, which is fascinating how quickly things can change for your brand. And, with publicity, negative publicity and all that. So I'm going to just talk about like what they did right, because I do want to start with what brands do right? So they were known super credible, right? Adventures with Purpose is a dive team that goes out and uses sonar in lakes and bodies of water to find missing cars and potentially missing persons that might have, died along with a car crash, whether it be accidental or otherwise. And so they've been in the news lately with some high profile cases, including Kylie Rodney, who was a missing girl from Truckee, California, and Jaleesa Fuentes in California as well, and some other high profile cases. And so they used both social media, primarily through YouTube, to increase their visibility, increase their membership, increase their funds, as well as traditional media through TV and other sources as well. So they've been able to make into now public figure status because of this notoriety that they've gotten for solving cold cases and other cases. So they definitely, obviously, leveraged regular media and social media to their advantage, did a great job. And by the way, Jared Leisek is the owner, founder, and the owner and founder of Adventures with Purpose, and he is the subject of some allegations I'm going to talk about in just a moment. So what else, if you think of anything else, what else did they do right? I think that that was a big one. I mean, they were able to put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, being able to find these missing cars, missing persons. So that's what they did right. Now, what is happening? So just to put everybody up to speed in case you don't know, there were some allegations from a cousin of Jared Leisek, who is the founder of AWP, who has come out and she's actually charged, or he has been charged with 2 counts of RSA to a child who is, in this case, his cousin. These were some allegations of actions taken about 30 years ago when Jared was about 17 and when she was 9 or 10. And so it's considered child R, okay? And this is in the state of Utah. Very serious allegations. And not only that, he's been indicted, which means that he's going to go before court. And so for that to happen, and so I've been studying and learning a lot about SA, and for that to happen, there needs to be evidence, there needs to be some something that they know that the state will see as that they will be able to prosecute him. They don't just take every single SA case. In fact, most of them don't, unfortunately, because there isn't enough evidence, because things happened so long ago. Potentially, Utah has lifted the statute of limitations on R, especially any type of sexually related crime for children. So that's great news. So that's kind of like the newsy part of what's going on. But news came out, I believe it was Friday of last week. And so news came out about this. It definitely shocked the world and shocked the YouTube community for sure. Now, some of this has been spreading around in Reddit. So there has been some news of this in Reddit and maybe some other circles related to survivors and Adventures with Purpose, but it kind of broke in a big way on Friday of last week. And so since then, team members who worked with Adventures with Purpose have spoken out. Several team members have actually resigned. So we know Nick, Josh, and Carson that we know of have resigned. I'm sure that there's more that have resigned. Past collaborators, other divers that work with AWP have spoken out, said that none of them said that they've known about these allegations. None of them knew. And so their own team members are speaking out against this. Jared has very little public support. And so that definitely, to me, I'm picking up on things about character of this person. And even with very serious allegations, if somebody can speak to the character, usually you'll have like people like that step up for this person. But in fact, what's happened is the complete opposite. So much dirty laundry has been pulled out of this. And so this has definitely become a publicity nightmare for AWP and for Jared, right? What else has been affected? So they've lost team members have resigned. They've lost supporters. They've lost subscribers to the YouTube channel. They've lost YouTube members. So people who paid to give money to the channel, they've lost sponsors. So because in the end, it's pretty much known now that the money is kind of being funneled directly to Jared. And so nobody wants to be a part of that. Nobody wants to be a part of that, of potentially money going toward him getting lawyers and defending himself against these serious allegations. And so it's definitely the, publicity nightmare. And so as a former publicist, I can also say, he hasn't made any actual statement after the fact. He has told some of his colleagues, or at least one of these colleagues that I know of, a channel called Adventures with Nug. He has told that channel that he is, that his official statement is the emails that went back and forth with his cousin who made the allegations back in February. And so let's just talk about, okay, first of all, he had a conversation with somebody who he allegedly sexually assaulted from a work email. That's a no-no, number one. The fact that he responded and didn't deny the claims, that's basically like a confession in a sense, right? And then we all know that you can take screenshots of these types of things. So I don't understand what was going through his head. I'm not an attorney, but if I was an attorney, I would have told him, do not respond to those emails and not be having this conversation back and forth by email. So that's on the attorney side. But as a publicist, I would tell him the same thing, because everything can get out, right? And so the fact that he didn't do that he actually put it out is now comes to light what actually happened. So from the perspective of justice, this is great, right? Because he put it all in writing. But from a branding perspective, we want to be very careful what we communicate in any way, in writing, in speaking, in social media, right? So we want to be very careful what the message is that you're communicating. So he hasn't put out any type of statement as of right now. I've searched and I've looked, and he hasn't made any official statement other than him telling his colleague that his statement was the emails. So that in a sense is disappointing that he didn't come out with his own statement. Although maybe it's because he acknowledges his wrongdoing and he doesn't, anything else that he says at this point, he feels will be detrimental to him. So he might as well just not say anything. So let's talk about the brand of AWP. A week ago, they were heroes. They were on top of the world. Now, we don't even know if this company is going to exist or going to survive, because the existing team members, most of them have left. They did hire a new CEO, but is the CEO going to want to stick around as the ship sinks? And it'd be very, very interesting. I believe, and I know Josh mentioned this, Josh Cantu mentioned this in his video. I personally had already thought this, that there was, before anybody resigned, I was like, there's no way that that brand can remain, that can exist. It's tarnished. And there's no way he can create, Jared can create something new, but there's really no way that that brand can remain. So I thought the best thing for the guys to do would be to create a new business. Unfortunately, it looks like there might be NDAs, non-disclosures, and non-competes that these guys signed. And so it's possible that the non-compete for a certain period of time will not allow them to create another business that competes. That said, there are some serious allegations. What if he goes to jail? Or what if he, is that non-compete really enforceable when there have been criminal activities in place with a founder of which you have signed a contract with the company? So that, again, I'm not an attorney, so I can't speak to that. But I will say, I don't believe that Adventures with Purpose, the brand, will survive. The organization, maybe he'll create something new, maybe he'll rebrand, maybe he'll name it something else, maybe he'll dissolve it and create something differently. But my original thought was that that this was going to, that it wasn't gonna, that it really wasn't gonna last. And it seems like the guys are jumping ship as well. And so it sounds like they're not going to be part of it either. I thought maybe at some point, maybe there could be something that they could do, remove. I know early on, one of the things people said is like remove Jared from the equation, which he was seemingly trying to start because he had hired the CEO. But it looks like that the trajectory is, and let me just say something, just to back to what I just said. I think it was the shock and people not knowing, and the sister and the his cousin who made the original allegations, and his sister has also spoken out that she was also abused by him. So all of this mixed in before all of that information, when you don't have a lot of information, you're in shock. And so you can't process. But now that all of this has come out and more has come out about Jared's character, lack of integrity, his business practices of making money, pretending to be broke or needing funds when they receive a lot of money already from YouTube and donations and other things, just, shady business practices. There is absolutely no way that this organization can survive in the court of public opinion anyway. And so without people that are donating to them, then maybe it'll be something different. Maybe it'll be a different type of Adventures with Purpose. So it would be interesting to see. And obviously we need to see what happens to Jared personally, because if he is physically not able to dive because he might be imprisoned allegedly for his actions, then who else is going to be at the helm of that ship? So be curious to hear, what are your thoughts? And if you have any questions, if you have any specific questions from a branding perspective, from a publicist perspective, please drop those in the comments. Love to hear what your thoughts are. And if you have any questions, drop those as well. And maybe I can either do another video or answer it right here on this video. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed this content, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel for more branding visibility and my series on Who's That Brand, so that we can learn about how we can elevate our own brands and also learn from the mistakes of others. Because unfortunately, there are always learning lessons, even in the mistakes, even in the negativity, even in the publicity nightmares, right? So hope that this was helpful for you, and I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye, everyone.